Hello friends, in this section we will talk about biochemistry of blood. Keep on watching guys. Let me introduce our group members. 1. Alivia Cahyani. 2. Hafid Ainun Fajri. 3. Imtihani Afiyah Najiyah. 4. Mitha Djuwita. And the last is Wanda Nurfitri Rahmadani. The contents of this presentation are: first, biochemistry of blood. Second, blood chemical composition. Third, blood function in the body. Fourth, blood clotting process. Fifth, immune system. And the last is diseases caused by failure of blood clotting process. Biochemistry of blood. Definition of blood. Blood is a thick, red body fluid that can circulate in the body in a closed system and is in a state of suspension. Blood consists of two parts. First, the liquid part, which is called plasma, and the second is solid part, consisting of red blood cells, white blood cells, and blood objects, or thrombocytes. Blood plasma is the liquid part of blood that does not clot. For example, blood in the vascular system of the body. Serum is the liquid part of the blood that clots.
Blood chemical composition. Liquid part 50 until 60 blood volume, solid 8 until 9%, specific gravity 1.026 mg per ml, viscosity 1.7 until 2, osmotic pressure 26 mmHg, pH 7.33 until 7.51. Solid part 40 until 45 blood volume, specific gravity 1.0601 mg per ml, viscosity 3.6 until 5.3, pH 7.33 until 7.51. Blood cell erythrocyte 4.5 until 6 million, leukocyte 5.10,000, thrombocyte 200,000 until 400,000. Blood functions in the body. 1. A means of transporting various types of chemicals, such as the transport of A. Food, the substances that have been absorbed in the intestine to tissues that need them. B. Was the substances or was the product of metabolic products from the entire network to the excretion apparatus. C. Oxygen from the lungs to the tissues. D. Carbon dioxide from the tissues to the lungs. I. Regulatory substance or hormones from the or endocrine glands to the certain parts of the body. 2. The body's defense against germs and the foreign bodies by circulating white blood cells and antibodies. 3. Regulators, for example regulating A. Body stability, namely by spreading body heat. B. Balance between blood and the tissues fluids. C. Maintenance of acid-base equilibriums in the body.
4. Blood clotting process. The processes of hemostasis and blood clotting that occur when a part of the body is injured are as follows. First, blood vessels react by reducing their diameter. When bleeding starts, the blood vessels constrict to control the amount of blood that is lost. Contracted blood vessels will reduce blood flow to the injured area. Second, platelet blockage. The body will activate platelets in response to injury victims. These platelets will release a chemical signal that can attract the body cells to the injured area. The platelets and body cells will clot, forming a blockage in the wound. This process requires this role of a protein called von Willebrand factor, which allows platelets to stick together and form clumps. Third, fibrin strands are formed. Damage to the blood vessels activates the coagulation factors in the blood. The coagulation factors of the proteins will promote the production of fibrin, which is a strand of protein that is very strong and interwoven to cover the injured area. The fibrin singles will be produced for days and weeks until the wound in the bloodstream closes and heals completely. 5. Immune system. Definition of immune system. The immune system is a network of cells, tissues, and organs that work together to defend the body against attacks by foreign invaders. These are primarily microbes, germs, tiny infection-causing organisms such as bacteria, viruses, parasites, and fungi. Because the human body provides an ideal environment for many microbes, they try to break in. It is the immune system's job to keep them out or failing that, to seek out and destroy them. When the immune system hits the wrong target or is crippled, however, it can unleash a torrent of disease, including allergy, arthritis, or AIDS. The immune system is amazingly complex. It can recognize and remember millions of different enemies, and it can produce secretion and cells to match up with and wipe out each one of them.
The structure of the immune system. The organs of the immune system are positioned throughout the body. They are called lymphoid organs because they are home to lymphocytes, small white blood cells that are the key players in the immune system. Bone marrow, the soft tissue in the hollow center of bones, is the ultimate source of all blood cells, including white blood cells destined to become immune cells. The thymus is an organ that lies behind the breastbone. Lymphocytes known as T lymphocytes or just T cells mature in the thymus. Lymphocytes can travel throughout the body using the blood vessels. The cells can also travel through a system of lymphatic vessels that closely parallels the body's veins and arteries. Cells and fluids are exchanged between blood and lymphatic vessels, enabling the lymphatic system to monitor the body for invading microbes. The lymphatic vessels carry lymph, a clear fluid that bathes the body's tissues. Small, bean-shaped lymph nodes are laced along the lymphatic vessels, with clusters in the neck, armpits, abdomen, and groin. Each lymph node contains specialist compartments where immune cells congregate and where they can encounter antigens. Human cells and foreign particles enter the lymph nodes via incoming lymphatic vessels or the lymph nodes' tiny blood vessels. All lymphatics exit lymph nodes through outgoing lymphatic vessels. Once in the bloodstream, they are transported to tissues throughout the body. They patrol everywhere for foreign antigens, then gradually drift back into the lymphatic system to begin the cycle all over again. The spleen is a flattened organ at the upper left of the abdomen. Like the lymph nodes, the spleen contains specialized compartments where immune cells gather and work, and serves as a meeting ground where immune deficients confront antigens. Clumps of lymphoid tissue are found in many parts of the body, especially in the linings of the digestive tract and the airways and lungs territories that serve as gateways to the body. These tissues include the tonsils, adenoids, and appendix.
This is caused by failure of the blood clotting process. Thrombocytopenia. Thrombocytopenia or platelet deficiency is a condition where the number of platelets in the circulating system is below normal, or 150,000 up to 350,000 per blood. Guyton and Hall 2007. Thrombocytopenia is usually found in people with anemia, leukemia, viral and protozoan infections. that are mediated by immune system or human infection, virus, dengue fever, and malaria. Thrombocytopenia is caused by several things, among other failure of platelet production, increased platelet consumption, distribution abnormal platelets, and loss to dilution. Immune thrombocytopenia or ITP. ITP is a syndrome in which platelets become coated with autoantibodies to platelet membrane antigens, resulting in splenic sequestration and phagocytosis by mononuclear macrophage.
Von Willebrand disease or VWD is the most common hereditary blood clotting disorder in humans. An acquired form can sometimes result from other medical conditions. It arises for a deficiency in the quality or quantity of von Willebrand factor, a multimeric protein that is required for platelet addition. Patients with low VWF can experience bleeding, despite mild reduction in VWF levels. VWD type 1 is the most common type of the disorder, with mild bleeding symptoms such as nosebleeds. Though occasionally more severe symptoms can occur, blood type can affect the presentation and severity of symptoms of VWD. VWD type 2 is the second most common type of the disorder and has mild to moderate symptoms. It is named after the Finnish physician Erik Adolf von Willebrand, who first described the condition in 1926. Hemophilia. Hemophilia is caused by the body's inability to make a protein necessary for blood to clot. When a person with hemophilia is injured, the blood clots very slowly or sometimes doesn't clot at all. This can lead to excessive bruising and painful bleeding inside the body into muscles, joints, or body cavities. The word hemophilia literally describes the disease. Hemo means blood, and philia means having a tendency towards something. Therefore, a person with hemophilia has a tendency toward bleeding. Hemophilia is rare genetic disease, which means it is inherited and is passed from one generation to the next. Hemophilia occurs almost exclusively in males and affects only of every 10,000. It is chronic disease, meaning there is currently no cure and the problem lasts throughout the life of the affected person. At present, there is no way to prevent hemophilia, but it can be treated. The two most common types of hemophilia are hemophilia A and hemophilia B, also called Christmas disease. Of the two main types, hemophilia A is the most common. 80% of all cases of hemophilia are classified as hemophilia A. Classic or hemophilia A is caused by a decreased or missing factor in the blood called factor VIII, which is one of the chemicals necessary for effective blood clotting. Hemophilia B or Christmas disease has similarities with A, but affects fewer people and is caused by a lack of a different clotting factor. This is the source that used in this video. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please comment below.